Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be painting a really beautiful sunset picture. It's super easy. Anyone can do this one, kids or adults. I can't wait to get started. Let's do this together. All right, so we have our little canvas, our little workspace here. We've got a pencil, lead pencil, and then I've got my paints on the side, some dark blue and light blue. And then I grabbed a nice kind of maroony pink, a yellow, and a black paint. And then I've also got some purple, pink, and an orange and white paint here. So we'll use mostly all of these ones. And then I've also got my brushes here. I've got a big brush, a medium brush, and a small one. It doesn't really matter if you only have one or three. And then just a little jar for some water to have in there. All right, let's grab our pencil. And we're just gonna sketch out the bottom bit, so kind of like the land in the picture. So we're gonna do the black bit down the bottom. And I'm just kind of doing circular shapes here. And I'm gonna get you guys to draw it really lightly, like I am here, but because you can't really see it, I'm just going a bit darker. And I'll probably make it darker at the end as well. But for you guys, go lighter, so then the paint will cover it. So I'm just gonna draw in the trees here. So we've got two little palm trees kind of sticking out, and really this does not have to be perfect. We can just kind of stick the little branches in wherever we want, and we're going to be painting over this, so don't get too perfectionisty about it. I don't think that's a word, but we're going to use it. So we're just going to roughly mark out the sunrise here, or sunset, and then put a little circle for the sun. So I'm just going to make this a little darker for you guys. So I might just highlight these ones so you can see. That's better. But for you guys, don't do this. I mean, you can if you want, but I wouldn't. It's a little bit harder for me to get the paint over it. Otherwise, you'll see the lines coming through. And again, a little sunrise or sunset and the circle for the sun. All right, we are done, ready to get painting. So let's do the background first, yeah? And I'm just kind of marking them out how the initial picture looks. So you can use that as a reference to kind of look like where is the darker color, where is the lighter color, and then put the paint in those little areas. Then after we've done the blue, we're gonna come in and grab some dark blue. We're just gonna dot that through the sky. Maybe look for any other little areas down below where there's dark blue as well. And then I might grab some of my brushes, maybe the medium sized brush, but it doesn't matter whichever one you have. And I'm gonna grab some purple and I'm just gonna splash that through the sky as well. So you can honestly make your own sunset. You can use limited colors, or you can use all the colors. I'm a bit of a color freak, so I just want to put everything in there. I find it really hard to tone myself down. So I'm just going to keep putting a few more colors in. I'm going to grab the light pink. And closer to the sun, the colors are lighter. So the sun, I want it to be kind of like a white color in the end, like a light yellow. And then I want it to get darker as it goes out. So I'm going to put these light colors a little bit closer to the sun. And then I'm going to grab some of my dark pink now. And I'm just going to put that through the ocean. So even the ocean, we think like a blue ocean, but this one's got the reflection of the sunset, so it doesn't really matter what colors we're putting through, as long as it kind of reflects the top of the sunset colors. I'm going to grab my yellow. And I'm just going to dot that through the painting as well. And this one is, as you can see, a little bit closer to the sun. And it's gonna look it looks so bad right now, but it's gonna look so good, trust me. All right, so we're gonna grab our brush and grab some orange and just dot that through as well. And again, looking where there's orange in the main picture. So I wouldn't put it up too high with those blues, keeping it around the sun and near the yellows and pinks, light pinks. And then I'm just going to grab some water on my brush. I'm going to use the big one here, and I'm just going to blend the colors together. So just the blues, that dark blue and the light blue, and I'm just blending them all together. trying to create a nice, we don't want it to be too mixed, yeah? So try not to mix the paints too much, otherwise it'll just turn into one color. I like the impressionism look where you can kind of see the texture and the color. Yeah, we're not turning it into all one big smush of color, yeah? We're just kind of blotching it in. That'll give us a really nice, painted effect. So we're just going to keep going through the leaves here. It doesn't matter if we go over the palms. We're just you want to go as close to the line, if not over the lines that you've drawn. So this bit is I find it really satisfying. It's satisfying to watch and also really satisfying to do. And feel free to add more paint if you need to. I think I put like a bit too much on. Wait, too much? There's never too much, right? But this is a lot of paint here. But it's really nice. We just keep on blending this together. The orange. So kind of the blue to the purple. If your brush got really dirty, feel free to change your water. I didn't really feel like I had to, but you might want to. Because if you're getting blue in your yellow, it's not going to be super pretty. So I just brought that yellow down to that line, and then I'm going to do the water here. So through here, I'm going to focus more on the oranges and the yellows. And I'm going to wash my brush. Maybe get that little medium brush and coming through the sky and just making a few little wavy kind of cloud looks. And you can pick up bits of yellow from the bottom and put it through. And then we'll start to do a little bit of the water that's coming down, add some pink in. Again, looking back at the final picture, just so you know where to put the pinks in. And again, I'm not blending too much, so I'm kind of letting the paint do its own thing. And just bringing those colors into the corners. I'm going to grab a little bit more dark pink. And just put it in those little corners there just to give some contrast. Remember to wash your brush if you need to, but I always want it to be a little bit wet. I like my brush like a tiny bit wet, otherwise we're dry brushing. And I just like a little bit of a glisten with the paint. You can grab some light pink in there. And just keep blending. Beautiful. Again, if this is too fast, just pause me and then go at your own pace. If I'm too slow, then speed it up. And then we're going to start to add in a bit of that blue, and it should turn it into a kind of purpley, maroony color. Might get a bit dark, so feel free to grab some of the lighter purple, maybe a bit of white. Bring that through as well. And I'm just going over those palm trunks. And then I got that nice blue in the corner as well. So it's kind of going dark to a lighter purple to the pink, and then into the orange. So I'm really not being very careful here. Blend a little bit more of the darkness through the sky. And then grab some white. And I find I like to pick up the paint. Instead of like smushing my brush into the white, I try to pick it up onto the brush. Alrighty, I'm going to grab some white paint now. And I'm going to try and pick it up, get a little bit of water in there because this one's a bit thick. And just try and dot it through the ocean. So looking back at the picture, there's a little bit of like a glisten on the ocean from the sun. So it's like a little sparkles. You could do sparkles if you wanted. That would be really cool, like little stars. Otherwise, I'm just going to put little dots through here, and I might blend a little bit afterwards. Beautiful. It's going to look so good at the end. I cannot wait. Alrighty, let's get a little medium brush again. We might add in some more And you might need to wash your brush a few times, yeah. So I'm going to pick up the paint, the white paint, and try and make that sun there. If you forgot to leave the circle, if you forgot to leave enough room, then just get a hairdryer and try and dry the paint enough so that you can paint the white on top. But I'm pretty happy with mine. I'm just going to let it do its own thing. And we can add in a little bit more white through the bottom, the base of the sunrise. So be playful, explore, have fun. I think the best paintings are the ones where there's no pressure, and it's just letting your hand have fun, letting the paint do its thing, and just enjoying yourself. So I'm just trying to add a few little clouds here, but it's kind of semi-abstract and impressionist, so again, it doesn't have to be the perfect cloud or the perfect reflection. I'm just going to dot a few little bits through the ocean. Wash my brush. And I find it's really handy to wipe your brush on the side. So you want a wet brush, but not too wet. So like when you dunk it in the water, then twist it a little and swipe it on the side of the jar. And I decided I'm not loving this dark purple, so I'm going to try and blend in a little bit of white here and then re-blend in some purple. So it's got like more of a pink kind of fade to it, which I think is a bit nicer. It was a little bit dark before. So once we have finished our background, we can go the next step. So we're going to grab a hairdryer and we're going to try and dry this painting a little bit to make it easier to put the black in there. So give that a little bit of a dry. I would spend a few minutes. I'm going to do it really quickly, but yeah, maybe just keep touching it every so often until you think it's dry enough. It doesn't have to be completely dry. So once we feel like it's ready, we're going to come to the next step, which is using the black paint, and we're going to paint in the foreground. So I'm going to grab just a little lid and put my paint on it. If you have a paint palette, just chuck it in there. I was not organized enough to even have a paint palette. Terrible artist. Alrighty, and then we're going to grab our brush and let's get into this black paint. So we want it to be not completely dry, but not too wet either. So I'm just going to mix it around a little bit, and I'm going to color in the little bit of land here. So again, I'm kind of going over the background. Like I don't want to leave any white left. So try and get as close, if not over the lines. So some of the bits you could see, I kind of winged it a little bit and we're just gonna fill it in. This is like really satisfying. If you don't find this satisfying, I just don't understand, because I love doing this. So we're just gonna buff in that black paint. Oh, it feels so good. And get the corners. Again, just a little bit of water. Yeah, be careful because you don't want it to run everywhere. So just make sure it's nice. And I'm going to start from the bottom, the base, and go up to the tree. And we can thicken it out a little bit. So I'm just doing the trunk. And then coming into the branches or the leaves. So first we're just going to flick from the middle out. Yeah, middle out. And if you can't remember where your lines are, you can roughly guess, yeah? And then again, coming from the bottom, going all the way up the top. And tidy it up a little bit. It's looking good already. And then again, start from the middle and flick outwards. Flick out, flick out. And then tidy it up a little bit. I'm going to grab my small brush. If you don't have a small brush, just keep using the one you're using. You're just going to have to be really careful. But we're going to use the little brush. And then we're going to flick out little leaves, yeah? So kind of like we're drawing like a moustache. So I'm just doing little flicks here. And it doesn't really matter which side. And try and cover the white, so don't be too nervous about putting the flicks in. Just chuck them in and try to cover that white. Awesome, this is looking so good. And then we come into the top one, and I'm gonna have to make these ones quite a lot bigger because there's a lot of white behind it. Beautiful. We are nearly done. Maybe you smash this out super quick. Maybe I'm the slowest painter ever. Last leaf, the last one, we got this. I mean, you could add anything. You could add like a little boat in, you could add like a little person standing there with a surfboard. You could do, the options are limitless. Yay, here we go. So I hope you had fun doing this one. It's quite a quick, easy one. And the texture looks really delicious. Mwah! Thanks so much, guys.